Om Shanti. Hello everyone. Welcome to your next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. How are you? How are you? How are you? Deep down inside of your spirit, how are you? You feeling any kind of agitation, discomfort within your being that has you feeling kind of short? Is there anything around you that's not allowing you to be who you're meant to be? Have you been able to focus on who you really are? Or have you allowed the outside influences of people, events, situations, circumstances, responsibilities, your environment to kind of dictate who you are or how you're supposed to feel? That's one. Because the equation is unique. Because whatever the soul is, the soul attracts that in its vortex. You know, they say that the soul manifests things that the soul is at a deep subconscious level and at a conscious level. In the teachings of Raj Yoga meditation, in the first lesson of Raj Yoga, Mekon, who am I? Mind, intellect, sanskars are the functioning faculties inside of the soul. And the sanskars, that's what's operating. What a psychiatrist will call your subconscious or your cognitive stuff, your subconscious energy, your subconscious self, that's what's functioning. That's what's manifesting things. Haven't you noticed how you have the ability to do things in the right way, in the right manner, with the right attitude, and yet something else comes out of it? There are so many people out there in the world that's working really hard for a living, and you feel like you still can't get by. You still can't have enough. Things are still a struggle, and you wonder to yourself, why? Why should anything be a struggle for me? I've done everything right. Why is it not working? Something in the subconscious realm of the soul is holding your personality, is holding you back from really being your true and authentic self. And if you were to try to visualize or imagine, what would your real self be like? What is being your real self like? To me, because I've studied Raj Yoga and I am studying Raj Yoga meditation, it is what I am now, but there's a fragrance. There is a beauty to it. There is peace to it. There is respect to it. There's a royalty. There's an elegance. There's a grace. There's an empathy. There's a compassion. There's kindness. There is understanding, wisdom, truthfulness. That's being yourself. We all will have different behaviors. We all have unique characteristics. The way we walk, the way we eat, the way we sit, the way we speak, the way we make decisions. They're all coming from the deep-rooted subconscious realm of the self, also from your sanskars, also from your character. But when those are complemented with the fragrance of spiritual love, there's nothing more beautiful than that. when whatever you do as an act is complemented with peace and divinity and gentleness, there's nothing more beautiful than that. Being yourself is more of a characteristic process. It's where you go deep within you and you bring out the best of what is recorded in your subconscious, your sanskars, and you nurture that in your little deeds, in your little actions, in your little moments. You nurture them. And many of us miss that call. Many of us really shoot for the big ideals and the big goals, and those are important. Before I can find the success of the big me, I have to pay attention to the little me. That part of me that is innocent. That part of me that is truthful, that is present. A part of me that is very intentional, pure-hearted, thoughtful, giving, benevolent in nature, humble. Easy. Because being yourself should not be a struggle. And being yourself should not feel daunting. And being yourself should not feel like you keep fighting with yourself. For what reason? But when we really are ourselves, there's this sense of ease, contentment. You know, we call God here Baba. And Baba would always ask us, are you contented? It's the highest stage. How do you know you've reached this level of inner perfection? There is self-contentment. That's being yourself. And if every little thing or any little thing disturbs you, you have to say, why am I coming out of being myself? Hey, who am I? And that's why the teachings of Raj Yoga is so essential in helping us to really nurture the world behind our eye. To be able to look deep within your being and ask, are you okay? What's happening? If you're not feeling enthusiastic, you don't really feel happy. You're not inspired. There's no determination. Every little thing bothers you. You don't want to be around people too much. Those are all signs of me not nurturing the real I, the real self, the real being. And you can have a lot of other good qualities. And you could be doing good too with your life. But on the other side, there's another department that is also weighing pretty heavy in its attainments. A lack of self-care, a lack of self-honesty, a lack of vision, a lack of gratitude. It doesn't allow you to be yourself. It allows you to look for tools and people and situations outside to try to determine for you who you are. Do you remember your years when you were in your 20s? And seeking approval was like mandatory? Or when you were in your 20s, whatever people said or didn't say to you mattered? Or when you were in your 20s, you just were not you. You were playing the game of what the world was asking of you. And as you started to settle down, you get into your 30s, you're like, getting less, and then you get into your 40s, you're pretty stable. But if in your 40s you didn't do your work internally, your 40s could be a period where you're not applying the best of who you are. Because now you're settled in your limits as well. What am I saying? Sometimes we don't do the work on ourselves. And so we build up a behavior or a pattern of being less. And so it moves into our old age by our behaviors, the way we walk, eat, sleep, speak, act, create our environment. It becomes normalized after we've been doing it over and over again. When I get older, it gets harder. It's like when you start to gain weight and you get older, oh my gosh, it's almost impossible to lose that weight. And so similarly, when I build certain characteristics, when I get older, and I have not nurtured being my real self, I develop a persona or a person I really am not. I actually move so far away from myself that I'm everything that's like junk, and I haven't nurtured me. Being yourself is not about doing what the world has told you to do. I've done that. Dress right, speak right, act right, look right. I've done that. It still didn't feel like I was being myself. Even when I came into my spiritual journey, where those requirements were there, dress like this, wear your sari like this, wear your hair like this, this is the way you talk, this is the way you sit, this is the way you eat. I love that training because it went deep in me of how to develop a sanskar that makes my energy be very clean and clear as a person. And before my spiritual life, it was all about what I thought the world expected of me. Be something, make something, do something with your life. And I did, but I still wasn't myself. I was doing it because the world dictated to me this is how I should be. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But if most of my decisions were externally motivated, it's still not being your real self. Being your real self is an internal motivation. Why am I feeling this way? Where am I going with this thought? Why is everything a no or a setback? Why is everything so difficult? What am I feeling? Something as simple as moving a chair could seem so difficult because she didn't move it. Why didn't she move the chair? She should move the chair. You're standing right there by the chair, just move it. It's like there's something in the soul that starts to get less. Or if you're being yourself, and I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you right now, being yourself is this love that starts to come through more than it did a year ago. Peace starts to come through you more than it did a year ago. Happiness starts to come through you more than it did a year ago. And you will find a million reasons why you're not supposed to be happy or be your real self. Because of the influence. Anger, lust, greed, attachment, ego, whether it's coming from people or situations or things. So here's my assignment to you and your challenge for the day. Can you walk through the world today without being influenced by its external pulls? And can you walk through the world just focusing on your interior language and your interior conversation. Can you walk through the world today talking to God? Basically telling Baba, Baba, show me who I am. Just show me. And it's not about what you're doing, but it's about the way you're doing it. Just try it for the day. And let me know tomorrow how it turns out. Let's take a few moments of inner stillness and just focus on what I've shared today. This whole energy. Do I have the ability to really be myself? A being of absolute grace, peace, love. It's my real nature. It's my truth. This energy that I am behind my eyes, the soul, has a golden opportunity to elevate and radiate. I'm able to elevate each time I think of myself as a loving being radiating God's love. Just imagine that for a moment. Today, I will choose to radiate God's love, no matter what. And being myself and being my real self is about the quality of the thought process and the vibrations that I emanate, that inspire, elevates, brings joy. When I'm being myself, I'm completely free, authentic. I owe no one nothing, but I owe them everything of being my best. When I'm being myself, there's a joy that I carry because I'm being truthful to me. And that joy radiates far and wide. Being myself is a sign of my self-respect. That I value who I am. And I value what I will become. Being my real self is nobody's business but my own. It's between I, the soul, and God. And if that is true to me, I will radiate God's love. Think about it. Just think about it. Who are you? Who are you? How are you feeling? Is there a pattern in you? You know you must change now. Is there a behavior and a pattern in you that's not elevating you? It's not inspiring you. Just has you sort of running around yourself, as if you're hiding from yourself what you don't want to see. That becomes a pattern. The pattern of not using the power to face. To face yourself as you are, so that you can change. Let's take a look at what our awakened intelligence is going to reveal. Being yourself, embracing your true nature, and living authentically. Here are some tips. Know yourself. Spend time reflecting on your values, strengths, and passion. Accept your uniqueness. Everyone has imperfections and quirks. Instead of trying to fit in, celebrate what makes you unique. This is key to authenticity. That was certainly Sister Gita. Let go of comparisons. Focus on your own journey rather than comparing yourselves to others. Trust your intuition. Listen to your inner voice. It will never lie to you. Speak your truth. Practice expressing your thoughts, feelings, and opinions openly. Honesty, even when uncomfortable, strengthens your self-esteem and relationships. Embrace vulnerability. Being authentic sometimes means being vulnerable. Surround yourself with supportive people. Connect with those who appreciate and encourage you to be yourself. Take time for self-care. Nurture yourself emotionally, physically, and mentally. By staying mindful of these aspects, you can cultivate a life that reflects your true self and brings deeper fulfillment. Absolutely. Thank you, Awakened Intelligence. And speaking about somebody who was completely herself, here is Sister Gita Effect.
Original peace. It is not necessary to search for peace because it is within. Your original state is one of peace. External situations will pull you away from your peace. This one is doing this. This one is not doing this. If that is, you let them in, and your internal feelings can also pull you away. Tiredness, for example, leads us into irritability. Learn to be in charge of yourself and maintain your peace. Center your awareness on your spiritual form, which is a tiny star. It's a star-like point of light seated in the middle of your forehead. Really experience the difference between you, the sparkling star, and your body, the physical car, so to speak. Learn to detach yourself from the vehicle. Even a few moments of this practice, if done regularly, will return you to your natural state of peace. Tiredness will vanish, irritability too, and your actions will be filled with love for the self and for others. Peace is your original state. Om Shanti.
May, June, July, August, September. Wow, it's been 5 months since she left us, huh? In her other form. Let's see. Today's Avyak signal, if you do service, if you do something good, and then you try to pull some ego identity, the fruit from that, you're not really accumulating anything truthfully internally. It's like earning and using up immediately. There's no willpower in that. And when you practice that way, you become internally weak. You're not powerful. It's as if you develop that habit, you become empty. But when this finishes, doing good and then wanting the fruit of that good immediately, you will automatically become incorporeal. You'll feel that you're not in your human conditioning, egoless, so you don't take credit. It's God that's working through you to do good, and you'll be viceless. There'll be no more supporting vices trying to give you identification or making you feel attached to your assignment or your duties. So you won't need that. So good morning, everyone. Gigi, morning, Tamil, Rashmi, Sonia, Hilde, Shobha, Ken, it's nice to have you on. Pradeep, Kailash, Ranju, Aunt Senshin, Divya Baba, Lilawati, Samantha, hi. Hi, Indu. Very nice to have you join us today on Next Normal. Please send us some topics that you'd like me to cover as well. Take advantage of our time together in the morning so that you can get free therapy, free advice. You know, the teachings of the Brahma Kumaris goes deep into the soul, deep into the soul. And when you start to learn directly from the source above, it's a different reality, different understanding that comes through you. That connection between you, the soul, and Baba, that's our biggest agenda here. Independently connect everyone to source so that you can take care of your life on your own. That's our deepest wish. So thank you all so much for joining us today on another wonderful episode of The Next Normal. Please feel free to send in some topics and themes that you'd like me to address. I promise you I'll do my best. And also, you know, when it comes to being yourself, I've noticed that somebody who's truthfully themselves, they're the most beautiful people. When they've really found who they are, they're absolutely beautiful and perfect inside. And outside, life flows for them. Become this for yourself. So let's break away the attachments by loving everybody the same and increasing the power of love and implement being your real self. No compromises. Thank you for joining us today. Take great care of yourself. See you again soon. Om Shanti.